Welcome back to FasTrax Cars. I'm Kevin Matlo, and I've got Richard here with an absolutely stunning 77 280Z. Richard, thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your car. It's a very, very special custom car.
It's a 77 Datsun 280Z with a Nissan Skyline motor.
Okay.
Puts 360 horsepower to the rear wheels.
Wow.
Custom wrap, obviously.
Yeah.
Custom exhaust, all stainless steel, TIG welded.
Yeah.
Did that myself. All the aluminum piping I've done myself.
Right. The engine in this car, you say it's from a Nissan Skyline. What was GTX? What was it like to fit that into a car of this age into 280?
It was easy, actually.
Really?
Yeah. The Skyline motor is very much the same size as the L28.
Right, in the 240.
In the 240.
Yeah.
And if you look at the 432s, the old Datsun 432 240s, they basically had the same motor. And I kind of refer to that L6 or that L24.
Yep.
Because they had a cross flow head.
Right.
As the granddaddy to this motor.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but that's the way I look at it.
Well, and it fit in, which is important.
Yeah.
Anything else custom in that you need to do to fit it in, or is it just bolt right onto the same motor mounts, or was it a little bit of a challenge?
No, I had to do custom motor mounts, tranny mount, you know, all that. And that's why we custom fabbed the exhaust to run down and through. So the original coil cover actually was the 280 Zero over the rad. So when we went to a taller coil, I didn't want to delete it. So I just had somebody break it. Okay. Shear it and break it for me so I could put it on the rad and keep that. Right?
Absolutely. Bend it over, break it, bend it over, screw it on, and you got it.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly. It looks great. It's a great addition.
Yeah, and it covers up that ugliness on that top rad. So.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And cold air intakes?
Yes.
Yeah. Find that there's much improvement in performance on that?
Big improvement, actually, yeah. On the dyno, we noticed if I'm running 72 degrees Celsius intake temperatures down to 35 degree intake temperatures, I gain 10 horsepower.
Wow.
On this engine,
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's a good gain. Especially in a car. Do you know what the car weighs?
About 2,800 pounds.
That's a light car.
Yeah.
So your power weight ratio is very, very good.
Yeah. And this year we got rid of the torsion bars that generally hold up the hood, and we put the gas struts in it. So I was able to bring the cold air intake in and drop it down further, get an oil cooler in there, and so now I've got lots of room up front.
Excellent.
So it's got upgraded coils, R8 Audi R8 coils. It's running Injector Dynamics 1050 cc.
Yep.
Spectrum Motorsports Turbo 450 package.
Right.
So now it's a stock turbo, but it's been all reworked. Ceramic ball bearings, one-piece aluminum turbine compressor.
Yeah.
That will now boost. It's running 18 pounds of boost right now. I could push it to 25 if I want to, but I want to try and keep the motor alive and not kill it.
Absolutely.
So we tried to keep everything under 500 crank horse with improving the reliability and the performance on it. So
absolutely.
Q45 throttle body, the Greddy intake.
Now the wrap on this car looks like an airplane. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. What was the meaning behind the wrap?
At the time, I was reading some history books on aviation, World War II, and one pilot him and his plane stood out to me. He was a Japanese ace. Right. Unfortunately, he was killed on a trip back to go do training. Right. So we decided to go that route with the car and kind of dedicate it to the Zeros. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, fantastic. They were the fastest airplane out in the beginning of the World War II, and I was just taking it.
Absolutely.
buy it. So,
and a Japanese car, Japanese plane, it kind of all melds together, which is nice. Yeah, I like that very much. You got the fender flares on here as well. Are they carbon fiber or carbon?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Very, very nice. So you flared it. So are there spaces in the wheels? Or are they kicked out a bit? Or
no, they're just a lot wider than what normally is. So I'm running a 225 17 in the back, 45s. So in order to get that size tire, I had to cut the fenders out.
Yeah.
And they were all rusted out anyways. So instead of trying to replace them, I just cut them out.
No loss there, right?
No loss there. No.
Excellent.
So this car was actually in fairly good shape when I bought it. It had good floors, good frame rails, but everything lower than the body line was basically needed rework. The rockers, the lower fenders, rear quarters, trunk drop, and this being a 2+2, you can buy replacement rockers, but for the coupe, not the 2+2.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to buy 3 and cut them, make them longer, split the third one in to make them longer.
Wow.
So
a lot of work involved in that for sure. Yeah.
So, and then the ground effects kit and stuff like that, just to give it a little different flair. Yeah. Try and get the eye away from that longer
extended body.
The extended body.
Yeah.
So
excellent. And now the suspension obviously is lowered.
Yeah, lowered on coilovers.
Okay.
We're running Gecko coilovers.
Right. Adjustable.
Adjustable. Yeah. They've been fantastic so far. I have not had an issue with them yet. I've pushed this car pretty hard. So, did the Toyota 4Runner brake upgrade.
Yeah.
So we got Toyota 4Runner brakes up front. Still running the aluminum drum brake in the back. I just like the looks of that aluminum fin drum.
Of course.
Instead of doing a disc brake conversion.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. And the exhaust now. The exhaust is custom. You were talking about how you had to put new custom exhaust in. Was there cutoffs in that, or is it just straight pipe through?
It starts with a Toyomi downpipe.
Yeah.
Stainless steel, 3-inch, and then we went to 3-inch all the way back, pie cut, TIG welded to 3-inch cutouts, and then behind the cutout it goes to an oval to go underneath the diff, as you know on the older cars, and then back into round and out the back. So.
Engineering to pipe those through and get it right.
Yeah, it took me a good weekend, 12 hours to fab it together and weld it.
Yeah.
So.
And you did the exhaust yourself?
Yes, I did.
Good for you. Good for you. And the interior, you said it's not stock interior?
No, it's kind of a combination of stock and modified. We did Alcantara lining. The headliner's been embroidered with a Z logo, and then custom door panels. Part of that door panel is from Skillard Automotive down in the States, and then we added the door, like the silver port, try and bring that aircraft feel into the cockpit, so to speak.
Absolutely.
So,
fantastic. And what's it like to drive?
It's an absolute dream to drive. I love driving it. It's the first time I took it out with my wife, she figured it would ride like a skateboard, and she was quite impressed that it rode as nice as it did.
Absolutely.
So I've had Mike, who owns the red Z over there. He's driven it. He loves driving it. So I've gotten good reviews from other people that have driven it, saying that it drives really well. So
excellent. Is it just a show car, or do you pretty well drive it daily?
No, it's mostly car show.
Yeah.
But I do drive it. I drive it quite a bit.
Yeah, good.
I built it to drive it, so I'll drive it to work every now and then, or if I'm going, like we go to, White Oaks or Saturday night A&W cruise.
It's a pleasure car.
It's a pleasure car. Yeah,
absolutely.
perfect.
I get it. Mine's the same way.
Yeah.
So far, I think I've put 300 kilometers on my car this year. It's not much time.
Yeah, I've put probably about 2,000 kilometers on mine this year already.
Good.
So,
Yeah, this is fantastic. Thank you very much for being on my show and talking about your car. I appreciate it.